Hi everyone. So first I want to tell you, big news. I am writing a book. Writing a book. I never thought I would really write a book. I mean, I've had readings where people are like, "Oh, so you're writing books." No, no, I'm not. I've never considered myself a writer. And then they'll be like, "No, you're writing books." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. You must be reading someone else in this room because it's not me." And so this is really funny how it happened to me. At least I think it's funny. So I was just, about to go to bed a couple weeks ago, and I'd laid down and I was just about asleep. You know, when you're just about there, and all of a sudden this thought came in my head. The book should be called The Psychic Tool Belt. And then I just went to bed. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, the Psychic Tool Belt. Okay. So I went to work, and of course, I told all the ladies, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, guys, I got this crazy message last night that I'm supposed to write this book called The Psychic Tool Belt. And they're all like, oh my God, you should. You're a great, you tell such great stories here. You should be, you'd be a great writer. And then I kind of thought to myself, a great writer? No, that's not me. I'm not a good writer. I'm a good storyteller. Well, then I kind of thought about it. Storytelling and writing are pretty much the same thing, except storytelling is just where you are telling the story verbally. And writing is you're just writing down exactly what you would say. So I thought, why do I have such resistance against writing? Like, what's there that's making me resistant? And so what I did is I kind of just thought about it. Why am I not a writer? Why do I keep telling myself, you're not a writer, you're not a writer? And then, something kind of, came up. And I thought, And it was my old director saying, Ron, you're not allowed to write the papers because I can't read your writing. So I thought, oh, okay, so there's one reason. That's something coming up. That's something old kind of resurfacing saying, that's why you can't do it. That's what my ego is saying. It's saying, well, this person said you can't write, so you can't write. And then I was like, well, let's explore this. I went home, and during my meditation, I said, this is what I need to explore. If I'm going to write this book, I need to believe that I can write this book. So I got into meditation and I started thinking. I said, I got to my very quiet space and I said, why can't I be a writer? And then, once again, my old director's voice came into my head because I can't read your writing because you can't spell very well. Then another thing came up from way, way back when I was still in school and where I had a teacher who was basically, she laughed at my paper. Third, fourth grade, gave my teacher the paper, and she basically laughed at it and was like, oh, there's so many spelling errors on this. Oh my gosh, do you not know how to use punctuation? Didn't we just talk about this in class? And I was like, oh my gosh, of course, mortified and embarrassed. And I was like, oh my gosh, once again, then in my head, I'm not a good writer. Well, then, another instance came up where I was saying myself, you're not a good writer. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is not just stemming from right now. This actually stems way, way, way back. And it's been conditioned to me subconsciously. People keep on telling you the same thing. You're going to start believing it. So I was basically conditioned that I'm not a good writer, that I can't write. And the instance that came up when I was saying it to myself was I was about to write something for college, and I said, I'm not a good writer. I can't do this. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I have that programming. How am I going to undo that to write this book? How is this going to work? And then I kind of went a little deeper and I was like, okay, it's time to heal those, forgive those, and undo it. So what I did was I saw my old director and I saw her, for me, she was like this big scary figure in my head. And then I shrunk her down to her normal size and I sent her love and light and forgiveness. And I said, "I forgive you." And I cut the cord. I cut it. I don't need any more I don't need you sucking my energy away, and I don't need me giving you any energy. So I said, I cut the cord to you, and I asked Archangel Michael to please help me cut that cord. Then I went to the 3rd/4th grade teacher, and, I shrunk her down to her normal size, and, instead of being, and, I still saw myself as a child, and instead of being that scared child, intimidated by the teacher, I sat there and I said, okay, I kind of put like my adult consciousness into there. And as she was laughing, I thought to myself, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what she thinks, it matters what you think. So I kind of rewrote the situation where it wasn't going to bother me that way. And I sent her love and light and forgiveness, and I cut that cord. And then I went to the other instances, and I did the exact same thing. I shrunk those down, and I cut the cords, and I sent them all love, light, and forgiveness. And I said to myself, I am a good writer. That's all I said. And that is now my affirmation, and I say it every day. I am a good writer. I am a good writer. And then another thing kind of came up while I was doing that. I've always told myself I can't draw. I'm not a good drawer. And then I kind of was like, well, where did this come from? And it stems back all the way back into kindergarten and 1st grade and 3rd grade. Or 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And we had an art teacher. Her name was Miss Cantwell. And, she was a very nice lady. Don't get me wrong. She knew a lot about art. She was a beautiful artist. My God, she created a peacock on the chalkboard one time. It was gorgeous. And I remember her, I was trying to draw something, and she was like, well, that's not very good. And then she went to the kid next to me and was like, oh, you're doing a great job. What? WTF? You do not tell a child that they're not doing a good job, and you don't compare other children. You just don't. Someone who works with children, that destroys them. It doesn't make them want to work harder. It doesn't make them want to do more. In a sense, it does. But also, it destroys their self-confidence. You are basically saying to this child, you're not good. Oh, but the person next to you, you're wonderful. It's not something, even in your daily lives. If someone sits there and says, oh, well, Ted, you're doing a great job on this project, but Joanne, you need to work on it because look at Ted's work. And that's just a comparison. You don't need to do that. You don't need to compare yourself to others. So I did the same thing there. I cut that cord and I healed it. And you know what? I actually started drawing a little bit. I always kind of negated drawing. I would always tell my co-teachers, oh, you draw that. I can't draw. You draw that. So once again, I kept on going with that subconscious programming of saying, you're not an artist, or you can't draw. I can do anything I want. What it is belief, and programming that belief into yourself with these affirmations. And so just affirm to yourself whatever you want. For me, I am a great writer. I am an artist. And I even had to say to myself for a long time, because I would sit there and get intuitive information and not believe it, I am a psychic. I would have to say those things to myself because I didn't believe them. And that's what it is. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then who is going to believe in you? You are the most important person in your own life. You have to believe in you. So, say affirmations. They are very, very powerful. One that I say every day is, the universe is a source of wealth and it pours it upon me. So that's bringing in wealth to me. Another one that I say is, I am open to receiving love. Say it every day. I'm open to receiving love. Another one that I say is, I now release all blocks and fears to receiving assistance. Because I have a hard time when people try to help me. I always think it's my job to help others, but I have to realize that I can receive assistance as well, and I don't have to feel guilty for it. I don't. There's no reason to. So, those are some affirmations. Now, some general affirmations that are really good are today is going to be a great day. It's going to be easy, magical, and filled with gifts. Another good one, like I said, the universe is a source of wealth and it pours it upon me. Another great one is my chakras are open, clean, and clear and spinning at a perfect, healthy rate. Another good one, just in general, or this really isn't an affirmation, but it's one that I say, is today I'm going to expect good things. I'm going to be open to them, recognize them, and thank God for them. So that's all for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed. Sorry it's kind of long. I will be doing another video here shortly, and just long video alert. It's going to be a good 30 minutes because this is an amazing story, and I want to share it with all of you. All right, bye.